So, good morning, everyone. And in this project, we are going to perform the electricity prediction. Okay, so as I was discussing that electricity is a basic human need, and our progress depends upon the energy. Okay, so if we don't have the energy right now, we are also in this meeting, and if we don't have electricity, then obviously my Wi-Fi will don't gonna work. And how much time I can manage with the battery power of my laptop. Okay, so energy is something, it is very much important, and it has entered into the market as a tradable commodity. Okay, and the power industry of many countries has been deregulated. So here the point is, in my data set, I have been working with the Spanish electric power. Okay, the details of the Spanish electric power, and it comprises of high amounts of uncertainty in the electricity prices, and there are many much factors which are responsible for this thing. Okay, so today the goal of our project, because if we would say, sir, why and what is the reason we are doing this project, and you all guys are here for the implementation and understanding the project related to the electricity consumption. Okay, so here the goal of our project is to apply machine learning, deep learning technique, and our task would be for the prediction of the next hour's electricity price on the basis of the past values of the electricity price. Okay, so in the data set, we are available with all electricity prices, that is the past prices, and we are going to perform the prediction what will be the next our electricity price. For that reason, we are going to apply various machine learning and deep learning algorithms, and here we are going to perform the time series analysis. Okay, so this project is having various concepts of ML and the DL. Okay, and here we are going to perform the data exploration, cleaning, time series analysis. I already told feature engineering we are going to perform, and then we are going to have the modeling, that is XGBoost. I did told in ML, and LSTM for the deep learning. Okay, so these two models we are going to apply for the electricity forecast for the next 1 hour. Okay, so this will be our task for today in this project. Okay, so coming to the data set. Obviously, data set is something very much important. Then only we are going to do any kind of project, whether it is of any of the theme. Okay, so first let me help you in understanding the data set. I'm available with the two data set. First one I'm sharing with you is weather features. So I hope you can see in my screen. This data set is of weather features. Okay, so let us discuss about each and every column, each and every feature which is present in this weather features. So obviously, as the name suggests, this is a weather features that definitely it comprises of the details related to the weather. So here the first column represents the date. Okay, so it's 1/1/2015 at around some particular time. For example, this is 12 in the night, then 1 a.m., then 2 a.m., then 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. That means here on a particular date, hourly basis data is being available. Hourly basis. So if someone says, if you want to do or create or build a project on time series analysis, you must be having the data in which you are having this details of the date. Okay, so here I am having the details of the date with along with the time. Okay, so each and every hour related to 1/1/2015 has been mentioned here, that is after 24 hours. Now the date has been changed, so it will be like again January 2nd 2015 and so on. Okay, and the next column is the city name. Okay, that is the name of the city of the Spain, because I already told that I'm working on the data sheet related to the Spain country. Okay, so Valencia is the city name whose details has been mentioned here. Then the next column is the temperature. Okay, so temperature here it has been mentioned. Okay, whatever be the units are, you can consider for the temperature. Then here is the minimum temperature. Okay, minimum temperature recorded, and the maximum temperature recorded. Okay, then the next thing is the pressure. Okay, and then next one is the humidity. So all these are the weather features. As I already told that I'm been working on the data sheet related to the weather. So these all are obviously the weather features. After humidity, what is the wind speed with which speed the wind has been flowing? So here they have mentioned that okay, this is the wind speed. Then the wind degree, at what particular angle the wind has been flowing. Okay, so wind degree, that has been mentioned. Then here is the rain, 1h 3h. Okay, so there are two factors for the rain, it has been mentioned, whether there was a rain or not. Okay, so here you can see that the values are 0 0, and these are the rain factors. Okay, so some it's been 0 now, then it is zero point 0.3, zero point 0.3. Okay, so I think if there is no rain, then there would be 0, and then if there is some rain, so there might be some fractional values have been available. Okay, then next one is the snowfall. Snow, is there any snow also? So here also we can see that the values from 0, and might be some fractional values might be available ahead. Okay, so the snowfall. Then clouds. Okay, whether there are clouds, and what is the scenario for whether how the clouds are been the kind of environment. Okay, so clouds all, and these all, I would say it's a numerical value. Okay, these are all numerical values, so definitely they have been measured with some they have done some analysis, and they might be having some instruments accordingly, they have been measured for all these things. Okay, so here the numerical value for clouds also mentioned. Then the next one is the weather. Okay, weather ID. Okay, what kind of weather was there? They have been assigned some ID to it. Okay, so here the ID given to the weather is 800. Okay, there is certainly an ID mentioned, that is 800. Okay, then then the next thing is your weather main, that is whether your weather is clear, or it is having some other things. It is cloudy. Okay, so cloudy is having an ID 801, and the clear is having ID 800. Okay, this is how they have been mentioned. Okay, and then the next thing is your weather description. So here they did told sky is clear. Okay, so if obviously if the weather is clear, that means sky is clear. Okay, and if there has been clouds, then it would mention few clouds are there. Okay, then the next column is of weather icon. Okay, so they have been mentioned some icon means they have been mentioned some numerical identification related to the weather. Okay, so for sky is clear, that is 0 1 n, and here also they did mention 1 1 something like that. So these are certain icons of some tags has been mentioned related to the weather. Okay, so the most important thing which we should consider here in this data set is how to approach this kind of particular problem, sir. Here you have been available with the dates. Okay, and here you are available with the city name. There might be much more city names in the data set. It will come down, but here the first it has been mentioned for the Valencia city. Then here the temperature. Okay, then we did mention our minimum and the maximum temperature, and what is the pressure, what is the humidity, what is the wind speed, degree with which the wind has been flowing, whether there is a rainfall or not. in 1 hours and 2 hours and 3 hours. So they're just having mentioned, okay, in 1 hour there will be 2 3 hours there will be some rainfall, whether there will be snowfall or not. Okay, then are there clouds? What is the weather ID? Weather is clear, and these all things related to the weather description has been mentioned. Okay, so obviously I haven't mentioned any kind of units here. Obviously, temperature is having certain units, whether it has been taken Fahrenheit, and humidity is having some units. So speed has been some having units. Okay, so whatsoever here, the numerical value has been registered in our data sets. Okay, so anyone is having doubt in this data set, please let me know. Please let me know if you are having any doubt related to the data set. Okay, because there is one more data set which I need to discuss.
So you are on mute.
Yeah, as if any doubt, please let me know, because there is
Can,
one more data
can
set
you
I need to
provide the
discuss.
link for the data set or anything
Yeah,
related?
There is a link.
yeah,
Can you provide the link for the data sets to
yeah. I will.
download
Yeah, I
it?
will provide the complete data set itself, which I am showing to you. Okay, after the project. Okay, complete code and the data set I will provide you.
And the recording will be also shown,
Obviously,
right?
yes, yes.
So, sir, in weather forecasting data set, we have to predict like what the weather will be done
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
tomorrow.
here the prediction will be the next hour thing. Okay, as per the data which
Okay.
has been available, as you can see that how is the weather behaving in this data set. What you understood
Okay.
in this data set,
And,
what you understood that your weather has been, hourly basis data has been available. Okay, you can see that hourly basis data. That's what I told. See here
Sir,
in
I sir, I work in the electricity area, so I am a
yeah,
bit aware about this. This is
yeah,
basically national level or some type of data
yeah,
where electricity trading takes place.
yeah.
The requirement across the areas fluctuates depending upon the humidity, temperatures, and all those, because people start using air conditioner. They
Hmm,
don't
hmm,
use
hmm.
air conditioner. They use the heating. They don't use the heating.
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
these are the parameters which affect the pricing of the electricity. So
Hmm, hmm.
what they are trying to do, they are trying to predict what will be the pricing based on the historical data in coming time.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
This is
What?
what they are trying to do,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
so that they can reduce their electricity cost by changing their pattern, etc. All those.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what is happening in this.
Yeah, actually, what happens is the data, sir also said, we should focus upon the kind of here the data set is related to the weather. Now, if weather is having this much, this was the minimum temperature, this was the maximum temperature, this is the wind speed, and all these things has been available, then obviously you are utilizing the electricity. As sir said, that you guys are utilizing the electricity. Okay, so if was the detail of the weather at that particular time in that particular city, and we are having this time series. Okay, what is the utilization of the power with these features? Okay, if the temperature was this, humidity was this, wind speed was this, clouds are there. Okay, and then you are utilizing the electricity. Okay, so accordingly we are going to perform some predictions. Yes, Chetan, you got the point.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I got the point, and all the data is like 1 hour data per hour.
Yeah, yeah.
What change in weather?
Hourly, yeah, yeah. Hourly basis.
Yeah,
Hourly basis. Okay,
I mean,
24 hour tracking we are doing,
yeah, yes,
and we
yes.
are checking that what are the weather features on the 24 hours. Is the weather
Okay.
changing? If the weather is changing, for example, there is a cloud, there is a snow, and obviously that means we are this is cold. Okay, so you're not running or utilizing your electricity appliances. Okay,
Yeah.
so or either you're just using heating appliances. Okay, no other stuff you're using, so it will going to affect your electricity consumption.
Yes, it's Valencia city.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Got
now,
it.
okay, all right. Okay, so now the next thing is, this is the data set related to the weather. Let me show you the data set Okay, any doubt on this weather data set, please let me know. Any other doubt on this data set, please let me
So,
know.
sir, in this project, we have to forecast
Yeah,
both the
forecast,
weather
yeah.
and
No, no, no.
like
Actually,
electricity.
actually both of these data set are required for our making the predictions. Okay,
Okay,
on the
so
basis of
both,
that, we are going to perform our analysis.
okay, both the data
Yeah,
set play the role in the
yeah, yeah,
prediction of.
yeah. Definitely,
Okay,
both the data set will play the role.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Okay. Any other doubt on this data set, please let me know, because the point is we should understand what are the features available. Unless and until we are not able to understand the feature, we are not going to perform anything. So the point is here, the first thing is your date time format. Please understand what has been available in your data. This is date time format. City name is obviously on a string format. Okay. Remaining all, this is floating point, this is floating point, this is floating point, this might be integer. Okay, so you should be aware whether your data is a continuous data, whether your data is a categorical data. Okay, what kind of data, whether your data is neither continuous nor contiguous, whether it is a discrete format. Okay, so what kind of data you are having, and you should be aware of the what you should be aware of the characteristics of that particular data. Okay, so characteristics is something is very much important to understand. Then only you can mark it as whether it is continuous, discrete, categorical, or whatsoever. So the point here is, for the better understanding, you can say that, okay sir, here temperature is something, we can say sir it is continuous in nature, sir. Okay, it may have a variation in fractions, continuous kind of data. Okay, and if we do talk about other, this is categorical data, clear, this is category, sky is clear. Okay, weather id, obviously this is identification, this is an id number. Okay, so I can't have an id like 800.1, 800.2, so obviously it is having some discrete values. Okay, and again 0 and 0.3. Now here also 0.3 was there, so here the rainfall and all these things are continuous in nature. Okay, weather wind degree is also continuous in nature. Okay, it may have some 62.3 degrees or something, like it may have a possibility. Okay, speed can also be like in the continuous format. So you should be aware what kind of data we are available with, what are the features, what will be important features, and how you are going to perform the analysis. This I will let you know in the project, but understanding data is something very much important. Then only we can proceed. Okay, so this was one of the data set related to the weather. Let me share you another data set. Okay, that is also very much important. That data set is related to your energy data sets. Okay, so that data set is energy. I hope it is visible to you. Energy. Okay, so this is your energy data set. Let me explain about this thing also. So your energy data set again comprises of the same thing. We are moving ahead with the same dates. Hourly basis we are going to consider. So here you can see that here is the time and this is the hourly basis. Okay, each and every hour from 1/1/2015. That means we have taken the same date, and starting from the 12 a.m. In the night and till the complete 24-hour analysis we are doing. Okay, for each and every date from this year 2015, we are going to perform the same analysis. Okay, so how was, see, weather was something. So weather is not in your control. Weather is something not your control, you're not being responsible for that. Okay, according to the weather, the utilization of electricity or the power is something you can perform. So here, if we talk about the first thing, or that is the generation biomass, electricity generation with the help of biomass. Okay, next one is the generation of electricity with the fossil fuels. Okay, fossil brown coal and fossil fuels it has been talking about. Okay, lignite. Then generation of the electricity on the basis of fossil coal derived gas. Okay, then the next column is of generation fossil gas. Okay, next one is your generation fossil hard coal. Okay, so whatever the fossil fuels and whatever the I will say the elements which are been present in the fossil fuel, so we are taking each and every parameter and how much energy has been generated on the basis of those parameters that has been mentioned here. So with the lignite, then with the derived gas, then with the fossil gas, then with the hard coal. Okay, and the next one is your fossil oil. Okay, and the next one is your oil shale. Okay, then there are various other peat. Okay, and the next one is your geothermal, generation from the geothermal. So this is what we in the first few features here, the energy has been generated with the help of fossil fuels. So accordingly here the numerical values has been how much energy has been generated by that particular fossil fuel, how much is the unit, it has been mentioned here: 447, 329, 0484, 44, and so on. Now after the fossil fuel energy generation, we have moved ahead to the geothermal. Okay, so this is generation from the geothermal, then hydro pump storage, then the next column is of hydro pump storage consumption. Okay, and this
These
is
are two
hydro pump.
different.
Yeah, yeah,
These
agree.
are two different.
Yeah, yeah, these are two different. Okay, then the next one is your hydro pump storage aggregated and hydro pump storage consumption. Hydro pump storage aggregated means, what do you think? Hydro pump storage aggregation.
Sir, basically what happens when you have a surplus energy available
Hmm.
with you,
Hmm. So
then the market price will come down.
okay,
So they use the electricity
which has been
from
stored,
down
which has been stored.
available in the market,
uh,
excess available,
okay,
because it
okay.
is
Hmm.
cheaper. So they
Okay.
will pump the water from lower side to upper side.
Hmm.
When there is a peak demand, then they will run from the top side, throwing the water down, so
Hmm.
that electricity will be generated.
Okay.
So consumption is basically actual consumption. The water is coming from top to bottom side and generating electricity. And
Hmm.
aggregated is they are putting water from bottom to top side.
Okay, from bottom to
And
top. Okay.
yeah, surplus energy uses.
Okay. Okay, so
Sir,
bottom to
for
top. So if you push the water from bottom to the top, isn't it we are in a requirement of electricity for that purpose also?
sir, what happens like you have 1,000 megawatt electricity available,
Hmm.
but you require 900 only.
Okay.
So what you do with the 100 extra surplus available?
Okay.
So that point of time, they will run the pump. They will take the water from bottom to the top and
Okay.
consume that extra available electricity.
Okay. Okay.
So when next time when there is a shortage, they will pump, throw the water from top and generate the electricity and supply it in the grid.
Okay. Okay.
Just like battery,
Yeah, yeah,
when we have
battery.
a
Hmm.
surplus energy, we store it. When we don't have energy available, then we use it from the battery itself.
Yeah, yeah, from the battery itself. For example, if you don't
It's
have
a
a, yeah,
storage.
yeah, yeah,
That is the word hydro using the water. They
s-
are using the word storage.
storage. Yeah. Storage. So whatever we are available with the extra, now we are performing the utilization of that extra. Okay, and generating the electricity. Okay, so this is what has been sir also told, and this is what the meaning of generation hydro pumped storage aggregate. Next one is generation.
Nirmal,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Can you again explain that one, that from bottom to top? That is something
See, bottom to
I'll
top
give
is
you example. I'll
yeah.
give you again in the
Yes,
simple
sir. Give the
example.
example.
How
Yes.
which
Yeah.
data, how the data are coming. This see the
Yeah.
data are, for example, for one state,
Hmm.
but where there is a electricity company, distribution company. Now the electricity distribution company is having various sources of electricity generation like coal, hydro, thermal, and all those. Every hour there was a generation of electricity for the given time frame. What every 1 hour they've given the data, right? Now under various sources, what was the actual generation of electricity? And if you see further in the right side, there are consumptions and there are electricity prices given. So based on past, what they are trying to do, they are trying to estimate what will be the change of various parameter of the weather on the generation and on the consumption, so that they can predict when there is a shortage expected in coming time, so that they can use a like pump storage, hydro, this one, and all those, so that their peak hour electricity cost is reduced, to the bare minimum.
But
And here,
sorry to interrupt. But our like mostly the consumption is per unit, right? Unit is fixed price, right? I mean,
for the consumer,
yeah.
this is not for the consumer, this is for the generation company.
Okay, okay,
See, here they are trying to predict the prices in advance so that they can reduce their peak hour purchase. Like in the summer, June month, there is a huge requirement of the air conditioner.
true. Yeah,
Everybody start running the air conditioner, which they will not run when it is not a peak, right? Hot time. So during that time, the requirement of the power goes up, and the price of the electricity, which generally is 1 rupee, 2 rupee, or 3 rupee in the market, goes up to 10 or 20 rupee.
okay.
So they are trying to predict every factor so that they can control their pricing by using this like pump storage and other methods. With this, what they've done, they have multiple sources of the power generation. They
Uh,
are
you, you
having all
mentioned
the,
no, you mentioned last no, like if they have surplus energy, right?
yes.
So what did with surplus? There means you mentioned bottom to top. What was that connotation
See,
actually?
there is a hilly area.
Okay,
From the hill, if you throw the water down, there is a force generated with which the hydro electricity is generated.
okay.
Hydro, you are aware about the hydro.
Yes, yes, yes. Hydropower.
So
Yeah.
when they throw from the top, there is a pressure of the water with which they generate the electricity. And this is when you have a requirement of the electricity, and when you have a surplus electricity, like all the generation are making 2000 megawatt, but your requirement consumption by the consumer is only 900. So there is a 100 megawatt extra electricity generated, and now this extra electricity generated will not get you a good price in the market if you try to sell, because everybody has already consumed and there is a surplus available, waste of money. So they will use the this hydro storage, from bottom side water they will take it to hillside using electricity and consume this extra electricity of 1000 megawatt.
What is the
So
advantage of that? Like,
huh?
what is the
Advantage
advantage?
is, see, you have a surplus energy, you have paid the money for that. If you don't use it, it is the wastage of money. Now, after few hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, you would require the electricity again. Like in evening, evening time, the temperature is less compared to say 11 to 3 o'clock, right?
Right.
Now 6 o'clock, lot many people will switch off their electricity, this air conditioner, compared to 11 to 3 o'clock. So 11 to 3 they will generate the electricity from top, and say 6 o'clock there is a less requirement of the electricity, they will pump it again, so there is a water available on the top.
Okay, got it. But then again, there is do expenditure, right? There is cost involved in pumping from lower to
Yeah,
top.
of course, because it is available at a lower cost, na? It is a surplus energy.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because suddenly there was a reduction in the consumption, so consumer will not pay, but you have purchased it, so there is a already cost paid by you, so you are trying to optimize, because the consumption and generation will keep fluctuating. The coal plant, na, it cannot run like 100 megawatt and 0 megawatt, it can run 90, 100, 90, 100. They
Okay.
cannot suddenly change the generation and stop it, because it takes restarting takes multiple days.
But there is will grid distribution will be there, right?
So distribution is there. That is where they are trying to adjust it. So if you have any point of time, every minute or two, if you have a variation in the generation, then they will adjust it with the
Okay.
pumped hydro, and they will allow the industry to use more. These are the tendencies. See, throughout the day, the temperature changes across the world, right?
Right.
During the peak hour in India, we will use AC, and when the temperature comes down, not everybody will use the quantum of electricity which is required when there is a high heat, so there is a reduction in the requirement of the electricity also. So that is how these factors are making difference, and the biggest part in this today's assignment, if you see the previous data, There were city name. There
Right.
were, I think, 4 or 5 city name in that. So I am very curious to understand this case with multiple type of database. If you have our target is this sheet only, electricity pricing, in the right side. If you go in right side, there is a data about the electricity pricing. So our target is this, but in the wind data we are having multiple state data also. So here our target should be to focus on this kind of assignment where, so for example, in industry there are multiple data available, not only of the direct related area, but some indirectly related area also, dependent. So how do you correlate and understand? This is the classic example.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And for the explanation, I just want to make aware other people also that Mahavir sir is already in the electric. Sir, can you please introduce yourself? That will be much more better.
See, I am basically chartered accountant, and I work on cost reduction for the industry, in more of industry, less of other areas. Wherever there is any expenditure being incurred, I work as to how do we reduce it. So my focus is always optimization. Especially in case of industry, there is a huge requirement of the optimizations, and for optimization, nothing better than Python can be there. And here I am trying to use the data science only, with smaller features or very advanced like Python, etc., so that I can understand and correlate those data and use it for certain specific objectives. So electricity is the major area. That is why I had the serious interest in the topic. The moment I saw it, immediately I requested sir to that I will be joining this session, because it has got direct bearing. And when I saw the database, I was really very happy with the kind of database we are going to work on.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And as sir also described about this generation hydro pump storage aggregated, and to be very simple, what he told that, for example, we are paying for 1000 and 800 has been consumed. So what will be about the 200 thing? Okay, so we need to adjust that particular 200 to somewhere. Okay, so we are again utilizing that 200 for the pumping of the water from down to up so that we can utilize it. Okay, and again there will be some generation of the electricity, and that will be adjusted in the your consumption. Okay, you are going to give that particular thing to the consumers. Okay, so this much we have paid, whoever be the distribution party from where we are taking the services. Okay, so as sir also told that there are dependent and independent factors also. So weather is something which is and depending upon the weather, obviously there is a great fluctuation in your usage. Okay, for example, in this season there is a low consumption, in that season there will be more consumption. Okay, but if the distributor, okay, they have purchased the electricity, okay, this much amount, and there is a changes in that, so they need to adjust somehow what. Okay, because pricing will be something been told to the consumer. Okay, this is the rate, 3 rupees per unit or whatsoever, 10 rupees, 12, whatever be the units. So that is not going to, that has been decided by the government. Okay, this much electricity bill you need to pay. But what will happen with the distributors? Okay, so they need to do some adjustment. So here the point is the distribution, so they have aggregated. Okay, there is an aggregation of this much units, and then they are going to utilize it for the further scenario. Okay, and then the next thing, and this is the kind of features we are available in the energy data set. The next one is your generation, hydro runoff, river, and poundage. Sir, hydro run, what do you think about this thing? Hydro run.
Sir, when the river is running, on that if you are generating any power,
Generating electricity, yeah.
it is about that.
Yeah, run of river. Okay, it's mentioning from its name itself, run of river, generation of electricity from the running water. Then
Yeah.
generation hydro water reservoir, generation of electricity from the water storage. Okay, that means if we are having a huge storage of a water at
Correct.
some height, and then if you are generating the electricity from there. Okay,
Yeah.
then the next one is generation from marine water. Okay,
Yeah.
generation of electricity from the marine water. Then the next thing is the generation of electricity from nuclear power. Okay, then the generation of electricity from other sources, whatever be the other sources are.
Sir, here, if you see, as I was mentioning, the fluctuation in the generations are
Hmm.
expected only limited. This
Ha ha
generation, column T,
ha ha
column
ha.
T.
Hmm.
If you see, it is almost static. There is no major
Yeah, yeah,
variation in the generation.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas our actual requirement keeps fluctuating across every minute, every 15 minutes.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So for those adjustment, only all these different sources are there, and they are showing the consumption also
Yeah, yeah,
to
that one.
adjust the surplus available.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so here we are using other sources for adjusting the fluctuations in the power. Okay, so generation, other sources are mentioned apart from the regular sources which we are using for the electricity generation. Then the next thing is generation, other renewable resources, generation of electricity. Then generation from the solar energy also. Okay, that means then the next thing is generation from the waste sources also. Okay, if we are obviously getting the waste, okay, during the generation, so we are again reutilizing the waste also, and then generation of the electricity from that particular source. Okay, then generation wind offshore, that means from the wind.
In the seaside,
Yeah, seaside, offshore, that is why it is mentioned
middle of the
offshore.
sea.
Yeah, yeah, middle of the sea, so generation wind offshore. Then generation wind onshore, this is not in the middle, this is onshore, that means on
On
the
the shore.
banks, that is on
Yes.
the banks. Okay, and then forecast solar day ahead, that means this is the forecasting of the solar day. Okay, this is the forecast for the solar day. That means how much I think sun or we are have been putting a forecast that whether there will be available of solar energy forecast for the day ahead. Okay, this is the
The-
forecast. Okay, this now, because if you do start with the 12 a.m. in the night, okay, so at that particular time they have done forecast some when there will be availability of the solar thing. Okay, so 17, then 16 and 8 to, and from here they mentioned some values related to forecast solar day ahead. Then forecast wind offshore day ahead. Okay, that means we are again forecasting the energy. Okay,
Now
on the
here
basis of
they are making the forecast how much is the power
power
availability expected,
expected
so that
from
they
these
can match
sources
their, yes, it was forecasted in advance.
in advance. Yeah,
So
it
they
has.
are trying to match both the ends,
Yeah,
generation,
so
actual generation, and the what was the forecast, what is the deviation between two, and what is the impact of that on the electricity prices.
so if you talk about the impact in the impact, we are going to consider ahead, because in the next columns we are going to check out for the forecast prices. So here, as sir also told, that we are going to put a forecast related to the solar. Okay, and then here we have put a forecast related to the wind offshore. From the wind offshore, this is the forecasting which has been expected. Okay, because see, solar is something, solar and wind, this is something which is not in your hand, I guess. Sir, am I right or not? This is not in your hands.
These are highly fluctuating one.
Highly fluctuating ones. See, what would be the solar effect, what will be the wind effect. Okay, so we can forecast related to the weather report basically. So that is why two things are been mentioned here. One is the weather scenario, that is what I have shared you, the weather sheet. Okay, in which we did mention temperature and humidity and the wind speed and the wind direction, everything I did mention in that particular data sheet. Okay, and the next thing here, we are actually working upon the generation of the electricity from the various sources. So obviously, if we do consider a source related to the solar, related to the wind, so obviously we need to take care of these resources which are available according to the weather, how the weather has been performing. Accordingly, we can forecast, okay, this could be the possibility in the next few hours. Okay, so now the next thing is forecast related to the wind onshore. So offshore we did, onshore we did. Okay, and for solar also we did. Then the next thing is your total load forecast. This is the total load forecast. So this is forecasting total load. What does this mean? Total load forecast, sir. What does this mean? What do you think?
Now this is the estimated load that you
Load.
are expecting that consumers will be buying.
Consumer will be, yeah. Consumer will be going to have
See,
whoever be
there
the,
are two.
yeah.
There
Okay.
are two part of the load.
Hmm.
One is the variable, another is the fixed one.
Yeah.
Similarly, in case of generation, also there are variable and there are fixed. Solar and wind are the variable. These keep fluctuating highly. Whereas other generation will not fluctuate highly. If you see this nuclear one, waste and nuclear and all
Hmm, hmm,
those
hmm.
are varying, but only a very small
Very
portion,
small, yeah.
2
Very
5
small
percent.
portion, yeah.
So they have considered in the forecast only those which are fluctuating highly every hour basis, and
So
they have arrived at this is the forecasted load and this is the forecasted consumption.
yeah,
Based on
forecasted
this,
load.
they want to prepare themselves in advance so that they can start the pumped hydro and all those,
Hmm,
because they need to have the water at the bottom also, at the top also, then only they can switch between two.
yeah. So we don't have something like electricity. We can see that our houses also right now we are sitting in the scenario that there is no fluctuations. Right now we are getting the electricity that is, I guess, 220 volts. Am I right, sir?
Yes, right.
220. Okay. So and this is AC, alternating currents.
Correct.
Okay,
This
but the
generation is
AC,
always in DC.
yeah, yeah. But here we are not seeing that is there any fluctuation. We can see that there is a static light coming, there is a static fan has been moving, there is no fluctuation. But here, why?
So the AC generated when the generation of electricity happens, it is always in the
Hmm,
direct current DC,
hmm, hmm,
and
hmm.
they convert it from
Converted to
DC to AC.
AC, yeah, conversion from
Then
DC
only
to
it
AC.
goes into the circuit, and everybody start using it to their own requirement.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody will ever know from which source how much has come and all those.
yeah.
So one question is like to Mahavir sir.
Tell me.
Uh, so this all the state electricity board and the private electricity, they basically buy this electric from this power distribution company, right?
Generation company,
Power
right?
generation, like yeah, like power grid corporation and all the
Yes, 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 absolutely.
okay, okay, and
See,
then
this is the case of any of the state board. You take any example of Tata Power, you take, or any state board you take. They now everybody is trying to reduce their cost during the peak hours. Peak hours are fixed generally, and the seasonal peak hours are different. Like in the summer, peak hour will be something around 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. In the winter, the timing will change, the intensity will not be that much. Not everybody in India will use the air conditioner in the winter season nowadays, right?
right,
So the electricity load keep fluctuating between the seasons, so they are
So,
trying to predict all these factors.
so what is the unit of measurement here? And because I
Apparently
think,
it's megawatt.
okay, but because the pricing over here is for megawatts, but when it goes to the end consumer, does it kind of get
No,
um,
see, basically in India, electricity prices are determined in advance by the regulators across India, based on the expectations that this is how the price of previous periods were. Now this is how the prices are expected, and whatever difference comes are adjusted over a period of time. So this price today, with immediate effect today, if you buy, it will not impact the consumers immediately today itself. It will impact over a period of time.
right? Because I think there are slab rates, right? So you have one, as you earlier mentioned, there is fixed rate, and then when you go to the next one or two slabs, the
No,
prices goes.
that is for the. This will not impact directly at all. What happens is to make consumers consume less, there are slabs created. So when you go into next slab, the prices shoots up by 20%, 40%, and like that.
So here
That
in this
that
data set, we are seeing, so in this data set, we're only seeing the prices from a distribution or distributor point of view and not at
yes,
the
only distribution
consumer.
company,
Right.
not consumer at all. Here,
Okay.
the distribution company would like throughout the year the pricing to be lowest possible,
Okay. Got it. Thank you,
so
sir.
that their prices remains on lower side. Then only they can provide the cheaper electricity to consumer. Otherwise, their prices goes up. It will affect the overall pricing. If you see in Maharashtra, the electricity rates are highest in the entire country. So when instead of that, if it is a private company like Tata Power, they are using all these algorithms. In the Karnataka, Discom have started using these kind of algorithm to determine the prices expected and the load which are there continuously, and they have fine tuned it to a great extent. This is the similar example of that model.
Yeah. So I think, if can we say that, we don't have, so the consumers would have the privilege of choosing the distributor for their
No,
consumption.
no,
No.
no.
Okay.
Generally, no.
Okay.
Small consumers will not have any choice. It is for the large consumers more than 1000 kVA.
Okay. Got it. Right.
So the state electricity board can choose, like they have a option. They can prefer which.
Yes, what they do, they have a bidding process. So they float a tender that we want to buy the electricity of so many megawatt on continuous basis, say solar. So whenever solar power generated comes to them, there is another way. If you buy from the market, there is a market for the sale buy of electricity. From that market, if you buy, it is available every 15 minutes. Here the data are hourly basis, so assume every hour the electricity is available, sold and purchased in advance.
And what about the different state? They're purchasing from different states. One state is purchasing power, additional surplus power from different state.
So one state to another state, there are some losses which takes place. So if the seller is say in Kashmir and the buyer is in Tripura or say Karnataka, so the based on the distance there will be some distribution losses which will take place.
So that will
But
come as
this
a
is
variable
permitted.
cost. What?
But yes, of course, it adds the cost only. It will increase the cost. So those factors are not considered here. Here straight away they are just forecasting the quantity available and they require, so that they can determine in advance what should be the possible quantum of generation of each of the generator columns, so that they can optimize the requirements. This will help them to reduce their annual cost. Like every company try to reduce their annual cost, right? Purchase cost. Similarly, they are also trying to do that only.
So we can say that basically this is more about demand and supply kind of an analysis. And
Absolutely, absolutely.
okay, right.
It's an absolute example, and this is much complex. I'll give you one simple example. In case of a industry, if you have a one major machine, there are 5 or 7 other dependent other systems. They are not only working on the major machine but also using the data of the other smaller machine. What is the correlation between two, and they are using it? I'm really keen to understand that only, and go through this example very carefully. Understand this, and go, after this video is received, please spare your time on this. This will give you another dimension in learning this today's project at least.
All right, sir. That's a good suggestion. So we were discussing about the forecast, total load forecast, which has been going to be, this is something, as sir also described, that expected that this would be the load which has been required from the consumer end. And then the next thing is your total load actual. Okay, so you can see that this is what we have forecasted, 26118, and this is the total actual load. Okay, so what will be the scenario? There is a difference. That is, forecast is something more, and the actual load is being somehow what, comparable, less, but it is just we can have that it's bit a comparable thing. Okay, so we are forecasting something, so we should be have availability of that particular load, or the energy or the power we should have been available, so that only we can provide it to the consumers. Okay, if we are having a shortage of that particular forecasted, and this is something actual, so there is not a big difference with these two units, we can say that, obviously. So with the forecast we should be ready, prepared, that this is something which we are going to deliver. If in case we are not being able to, prepared accordingly, what has been expected from our side, then definitely there will be the crisis and there will be power cut off. Okay, then the next thing is your price. day ahead. Okay, so ahead. So this is what are the prices related to the city of the Spain, which I did mention that these are something the prices which has been quoted, and these are the actual price. Okay, so whatever be the forecast and whatever be the actual load, and this is the price which has been going to be ahead, and this is, but this is, here is the actual price. Here is the actual price. Okay, and this is the price ahead, which we are been mentioning here in the list. Okay, so
This was the projected price
yeah,
of that particular time, but actual price has gone to
yeah,
65
yeah.
from 50 rupees.
This was the projected. Okay, now with
Yeah,
all these
projected and
parameters,
actual.
yeah, what with all these parameters which we have noted down here for that particular day, for that particular hour, whatever be the consumption, whatever be the generation has been happened, this is what the price ahead which we have quoted, but the actual price was coming to be 65.41. Am I right, sir?
Now here the price expected, if
Hmm.
you have a shortage, then the price was 50 rupees,
Yeah,
whatever euro, etc.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
the price, actual price in during this time has gone to 65. So
65.
if you had some shortfall, you were to buy at 65, not 50 rupees.
Yeah, yeah,
But you have a load is less than the forecasted load.
yeah.
26, you forecasted that
It's low. Yeah.
26,000 will be
Hmm.
the load, but it came down to 25 only.
Yeah, yeah. It come to 25
But
only.
This
here,
is only part of the entire state, entire country.
uh,
Only
Hmm.
one distribution company data are there.
Yeah. Only one
so,
distribution company data. Yes.
so one question here: we have this projected load, forecasted load, which is higher than the actual load,
Actual load.
right?
Hmm.
Then
Correct.
so accordingly, that prices should also be varying like way, na? The actual price should be less as compared to the
See,
forecasted.
this is of one company. The price is in national level, market prices. This is not in your control. You might have adjusted your consumptions, but other companies could not. So there is a higher price.
Okay, sir, the
Are you
question,
getting me?
I guess the question which he has been asking that, okay, your forecasted load is more, your total actual load which has been coming is less. Okay, so are we are going to pay according to the actual load, or are we are going to pay according to the forecasted load? This is what he has been asking,
It
I guess.
see here the company forecasted that the requirement will be 26,000
Hmm.
requirement, not
Hmm.
the generation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Requirement will be
Requirement. This is a
26,
requirement. Hmm.
but it came down to only 25 requirement.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now we need to take the total of the generation
Hmm.
and see
Hmm.
whether
See,
you had the excess or shortfall.
yeah.
So for that you will have to, if there is a shortfall of the requirement, so you require say you had a generation say for example 24 only. So 24 is less than your requirement of 25, right? So you will have to buy at price of 65 rupee. But if the generation actual has gone to say 26,000 round figure, so generation is more than the actual requirement, so you can sell the excess electricity to outside, which will go at 65 rupee. It
No,
goes both way.
how we decide is actual price, you know? It is depend on the total load, or it is decided by the some other factors.
It is the market price, na.
Okay.
In the electricity market, there are several players. There are several distribution companies.
Sir, can we say that it probably involves some kind of a profit margin or? Um,
Yeah, there is a profit ring also. If you start using your pump hydro, you can adjust it and you can sell the electricity also back at a higher price also, na.
So Mahavir sir, then why we are forecasting this price day ahead? We cannot. This is not in our control. Then.
It is not in our control. It is the market. See, market mein the prices are of immediate next hour, 15 minute like that, and also tomorrow. So one day advance there is a prices available in the market. So
Yeah.
they
So then,
have taken this day ahead.
how we came to this price day ahead? Then how we came?
In
Which factor?
in the stock market, just like stock market, there is electricity market also, where they have two type of prices. One
Uh-huh.
is the day ahead. So tomorrow, what will be the price expected at every 1 hour? And also today itself, right now, if you want to buy, what will be the price? There are two prices. So they estimated that the day ahead price is 50 rupee.
No, what on what basis the estimation would be like? What are the
Demand
indicators?
supply,
Demand
overall
supply.
demand
Yeah.
supply of the market,
Hmm.
entire market. There are like this distribution company. There are 20 or 50 distribution companies in the market.
Right.
They together are determining. This may be only 1%, or this could be 80% of the entire market. This company, I have no idea. So depending upon the requirements of the entire nation, the prices will move now.
True. Yeah.
So
It's
can
a
we say
competitive
that?
market.
So can we say that it's more like the price day ahead is something like decided by the distribution company, and then actual is based on the trading that takes place in the following day.
No, see, basically, like if you are aware, in the stock market, there are buyers and sellers. So in the electricity also, there are buyers and sellers. Based on the bid put today in this day ahead market, there are two markets. Day ahead market means for tomorrow, if you want to buy at 1 hour, 1 o'clock, what will be the price? So every company will quote that we need, say, 1,000 megawatt. We need 2,000 megawatt. Everybody will put their requirement, and they will quote the price also, that we want to buy at 40 rupee or 30 rupee or 20 rupee. So these are the prices where where every buyer and seller quotes the price in advance, a day in advance, 24 hours in advance. But when you are to buy, what will be the price? So this is the actual price on same date basis.
Okay.
So it's a spot price. What? I mean, like
Yes,
for the.
spot price. Yeah, spot price.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the actual price which has been available for a day, and this is the price which we have quoted one day ahead. Okay, as sir also told that there is a market price. So whatever be the scenario happened at that particular day, we did quoted. Okay, for the next day the price will be 50.1, and when the market opens, okay, this is the actual price, 65.41. Okay, which has been coming to me. So
Correct.
yeah, see, I was very much specific and with a few words, but sir, as he told that he's already working in this particular field, so he can explain you in much more depth. Okay, so here in this data set also, if I do talk about, we are having the parameters or the factors related to the generation. We are having the generation related to your fossil fuels. Okay, we are having the generation related to your hydro electric power also, and nuclear power also. We did talk about the consumption also, what is the consumption is going to have. And then we added some other factors also for the generation of the electricity via waste. And then we did forecasted at the last that what could be the prices. Okay, and this is something which we need to perform. So this will be our target. Okay, we need to forecast the prices ultimately. And this is what been required by the company. If they know that okay, this is the scenario, these are the features, this is what we have purchased, and this will be going to supply, and what could be the difference between these two, and what is the weather parameters been there. So accordingly, ultimately the money is something we, nobody wants to get into the loss. Okay, so for example, if the company is going to pay more, and they are getting less in the return, so obviously this will be a big issue. So they need to manage. Okay, if the requirement will be less, we are going to manage with some our availability. Okay, availability of the energy, we can reuse that, and then from that sources we are going to get the money. Okay, but the reason is they have already purchased this much amount of the power. Okay, and if there is a least requirement, then obviously they need to perform some adjustment. So accordingly, with this kind of data set, we need to perform some forecasting. Okay, and then this will be a suggestion to the company that this is how you need to perform, this will be the model. Okay, and then you please look ahead what can be done. All right, so I guess we have done a lot of discussion over on the data sets. Yes,
I
any
have just checked sir.
yeah,
I have just checked the data.
yeah,
There
yeah,
is in the first date there is a shortfall of the generation
yeah,
as compared to both of the forecasted and actual load.
yeah, yeah,
So they are supposed to buy the electricity, but now instead of 50 rupee, they will buy at 65.
yeah, but instead of 50 they are going to buy at 65.
Yeah,
Okay,
because their prediction has gone bit wrong.
yeah,
So they will be forced to pay 15 rupee extra.
extra. So sir, here we can see that most of the cases, for example, here these price has been quoting, but every time I guess mostly here they need to purchase the electricity on higher cost. So you can see that.
Sir, this will depend upon the temperatures. It is a
Yeah,
France, so they
yeah.
need more electricity for the heating purposes.
Heating purpose, yes.
If the temperatures goes high as compared to estimated, which is not available in the weather forecast data.
Weather forecast, yeah, yeah.
Weather forecast, if you forecast say it will be 10 degree, but
Hmm.
instead of 10 it has come down to 8 degree.
8 degree, yeah.
The electricity will be required much more than what you projected.
Yeah, what is projected. So the weather is something, as I already told, and we all know that this is something which is not in our hand. Okay, so definitely we are going to. That is why here I am available with the two data set, not one data set. One data set is of the weather, and the second data set is of the energy. So energy is something which you can have something, the sources of production, then the distribution. This is what you can do, and you can apply some maths over it. But related to something which is in a natural thing, maths is something been quite difficult. Okay, so but still we are having these organizations or separate departments for the forecasting of the weather. We see that already, that this could be the forecast of the weather, this is a cyclone going to come, and this is going to happen. But still I believe that most of the time they fail. Okay, so no worries. So we have done a lot of discussion about the data set, and I hope the things are been clear to you all. And let's get to the coding part. So now we are going to perform the code for it. All right. So I hope now the things are been cleared, that what will be our target, and for what purpose we are going to perform this particular prediction. Okay, for the
Sir,
electricity. Yeah.
okay. Sir, 1 hour is already completed,
Okay. Okay.
so
Let me
should
stop the
we
recording.
restart the system?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me